Hi there everyone, your Pyral here with some more Pokemon Platinum. Last episode, we completed the Battle Tower, and with that, we have done everything there is for us to do in the Battle Tower. And of course, I am definitely going to show off that star that we earned in the trainer card for getting 100 wins in the Battle Tower, because that is definitely a hard-earned achievement, as well as, again, showing off all of the gold prints. Fun fact, actually, this is only the third time. It's the third time in my life that I have completed entirely, like, the Generation 4 Battlefront here. So, yeah, I did it in my original run-through, my original playthrough of Platinum, and in Soul Silver, including the 100 win streak in the Battle Tower. But usually, getting the 100 win streak, I do that later on. It's not usually my third star in the trainer card, but anyways, now that we're done with the Battle Frontier, there's really not that much left for us to do here in the Battle Zone in particular. I mean, there are a few more things, and I'll be showing off those later, but there is one thing in particular in the Battle Zone that I do want to show off, and for that, I'm going to need to get something in the PC. And I'm also going to need to just get my, my team back together. But, yeah, so first off, Sync, Bakugo, and Exia, you definitely need to come into the party. And, what do I want to put in here for this? I guess, this is what I'm putting into the party, because this has some significance here. You know what? You can replace Bakugo for now. Because, yeah. Anyways, I also have some, I guess, things I want to change about my team. First off, there's the muscle band that I got in the Battle Frontier. It costs like 48 battle points, I think. 64 battle points. I don't remember how many battle points it cost, but I have the muscle band that I do want to give to Exia, because a boost to his physical attacks is always going to be nice. And I have some moves I want to teach as well, namely in the form of some TMs that I got. So first off, I want to teach Earthquake to Exia here, because as nice as Extreme Speed is, Sync can learn Earthquake? That's cool. Anyways, as nice as Extreme Speed is for the priority, it just has a low amount of PP, and I haven't really been able to use Exia as much. Sure, this is like late game, but I think Earthquake still has some uses. So there is that. And finally, if I scroll all the way down, I want to teach Thunder Wave to, again, Sync can learn Thunder Wave, I didn't know that, to Cosmos. Because Cosmos, as much as I like having Yawn on him, or on her, Cosmos, I feel like Thunder Wave could just be used really well in tandem with Air Slash to get either paralysis or flinching to be pulled off, so definitely a nice option. And paralysis is my preferred status condition to inflict on Pokemon in general, so yeah. Anyways, I will meet you at the first destination I plan on going to in this episode. So I'm here in Route 228 because right down here is this cave that is a little bit hard to see, but we have been inside here, and before, all there was in there was a hard stone. But with this Pokemon in our party, this Regigigas here with a Fateful Encounter. Also, it's really neat that it has a Steel, a Rock, and Ice type move, as well as its signature move, but that's something to talk about later. But now that we have this Regigigas here, before Platinum came out, this Regigigas was given out at Toys R Us, or in Japan, it was given out, I think, like as a movie promotion for Giratina and the Sky Warrior for Diamond and Pearl. If this was sent over to copies of Pokemon Platinum, then it can trigger this. Welcome to the Rock Peak Ruins. This is, again, only in Platinum, but having this special Fateful Encounter Regigigas will trigger this event. It's a statue of a Pokemon that seems to exude power. From somewhere, something spoke out. With their master, upon every lighted tile you must tread. So all of these tiles in the ground, these 7 that spell out the letter H. Just step on all of them. And once you do, something changes in the air. And there's an indescribable power emanating from the statue. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to put Cosmos in the lead. And I'm going to save. I normally don't save often in the middle of recording, but I guess this is an exception, I guess. But let's just wait for this to save. Spent a lot of time in this game, wow. But now, come on game. There we go. Once we investigate the statue, we have the legendary Pokemon Regirock, complete with a remix of its encounter theme from the 3rd generation games, which is really, really cool. It's level 30 though, which at this point in the game, it's not helpful, but the fact that we can catch Regirock is really, really neat. So, Regirock as a Pokemon, its physical defense is incredible. It takes physical hits like nobody's business. And it's hard to catch. Its offenses, I guess, are decent enough, and it has some pretty interesting moves to go with that. It can learn Stone Edge, Explosion, Earthquake, I believe, Superpower. It can just learn a ton of interesting moves. And it's not that bad of a Pokemon, although I will say there's probably better rock types offensively, so if you want something that hits harder, you can definitely find something, but it's still a really, really cool Pokemon. Now, in terms of catching it, of course, being a legendary, it's going to have the typical catch rate of 3, so it's going to be difficult to catch, but I have some Ultra Balls here that will hopefully make things easier. So, you want to get caught? No? I did paralyze you, and your HP is low enough. Ooh, yeah, Curse is another really good move for it to learn as well, because its speed goes down, and then its attack and defense go up. Plus, Regirock has the ability Clear Body, which makes it so if you try to lower its stats, then that won't work. So, that's another thing to keep in mind. But this song, it's just really, really cool. Hearing it again, after not hearing it in Diamond and Pearl, and just having it be absent for, what was that, like, Diamond and Pearl came out 2007 in the US, and then Platinum came out 2009, so not hearing this for a while, because the last Generation 3 game was Pokemon Emerald, which came out, I think, 2005, so it's been a while since this song was heard in a game, but it's a really fitting song for Regirock. So, now I guess really all that's left to do is just, wait for this thing to get caught. Now, getting rid of Yawn probably wasn't the best idea here, because Sleep is more effective overall than Paralysis, but I do prefer Paralysis because Pokemon can't heal themselves from Paralysis unless they have a move that heals them from it, like Refresh or whatever, or like Rest. While Sleep will go away eventually and you need to reapply it, so yeah. Plus, the speed drop from Paralysis, I feel, it can come in handy, as well as the 50% chance of the Pokemon not being able to do anything, so I just have a really nice preference towards Paralysis because of that. Especially when catching legendary Pokemon. Now, I only had 50 Ultra Balls going in, so I don't want to use too much. But I'll have to, I guess. Considering, again, this is a Pokemon with a catch rate of 3. You are dealing quite a bit of damage. Now, we have seen, what, 2 of its moves? We've seen Rock Throw and Curse. I wasn't paying attention if it used anything else, to be honest. I mean, having Cosmos in against a rock type isn't the best option, but Cosmos' job was to paralyze things. So there is that good thing, and Air Slash did a lot more damage than I was expecting it to. But then again, Regirock isn't exactly known for its special defense either. Okay, come on, get caught. It's almost like I'm saying "get got," which is a pretty good Death Grip song. But definitely not related to the subject at all. It's just like the first thing that came to my mind. Oh, come on. Well, I guess at this point I'll just cut ahead until something happens. So hopefully I catch this thing. Nope. Oh. Nice! That took 3 attempts to capture, actually, because I knocked it out once, then twice, and now here we are. And it didn't take that many Ultra Balls this time around either. Anyways, Regirock, the Rock Peak Pokemon. Its entire body is made of rock. If any parts chip off in battle, it attaches to rock super itself. Neat. Neat, neat, neat. Okay. Now, the statue has stopped emanating power. I think if you were to go back in... Yeah, it still stays like that. I wonder, though, if this just becomes a normal cave if you take out the Fateful Encounter Regigigas in your party. Huh. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to our next destination. And this time we'll be leaving the battle zone. We're gonna be away from the battle zone for a little bit, but we'll be back soon. So the easiest way to get to our next destination is from Route 216. We're going to be going back into this part of Mount Coronet, because this cave here, which used to have a Never Melt Ice, will now have the Iceberg Ruins if you have a Fateful Encounter Regigigas. Now, one thing to note, though, you might be wondering what would happen if you were to bring a Fateful Encounter Regigigas with you while just going through here normally. And that... you'd think that that would let you get whatever was in here. But if you don't have the National Pokédex, if you were to examine this statue with a Fateful Encounter Regigigas, the game would basically tell you, you can't do anything here just yet. You need the National Pokédex. So, that is, that's something to keep in mind. You can't do this during the main story of the game. You can only do it during the post-game. But, like with the Rock Peak Ruins, just step on all of these light-up dots, save in front of the statue, and we're gonna have another encounter here. Oh, one thing I do want to make note of before I do anything is I did make some changes to my party. So, once the game is saved... Come on. Come on. Come on, game. Save faster. So, I brought Bakugo back into the party and had Sync go into the PC. I also brought Tropius here because I'm going to be leaving Mount Coronet through one of the other exits, so I do need strength to get back to other parts of Sinnoh. But anyways, let's examine the statue after stepping on all those dots. And we have an encounter with the legendary Pokemon Regice. Regice, Regice, however you want to pronounce it. this Pokemon has a ton of special defense. Now, it does have to compete with other specially defensive Pokemon like Blissey. I would say Blissey is still a better option because it has its own form of recovery, but Regice does have some access to some interesting moves for type coverage. It's not really a physical attacker, so moves like Super Power won't do it well, but it has access to Ice Beam. If you want to put it on a Hail team, then you have Blizzard. Can get Thunderbolt for the Bolt Beam coverage. Explosion as a nice little, bit of extra damage, I guess, as a last resort. And Clear Body for its ability, so it's a pretty good Pokemon. It's just, it does have to compete with other specially defensive Pokemon. Again, like Blissey. Blissey is definitely... It can't be king because Blissey are all female. It's queen of special defense, basically. Anyways, another good thing about having Tropius here in the party is because it's at a lower level, it can actually deal adequate damage to Regice. So, don't need to worry about that. I just want to continue to do this because I need to get its HP down low enough. Part of me wanted to see if Air Slash would be enough to knock out, or to bring Regice's HP down to the red, since it does have a ton of special defense, but Cosmos has a level 33, or a 33 level advantage, so kinda didn't want to risk that. Anyways, we're in optimal catching conditions here, so let's try to catch it. Now, what ice move do you have at this level? I'm pretty sure it's going to be Icy Wind, but who knows? You probably also have Stomp like Regirock did, but... Ooh, you know what? A Stomp from this thing would hurt, because, like, its feet are just, like, sharp icicles? A Stomp from this thing would stab you. Holy crap. I would not want to be stabbed by this thing. Oh. Oh! Oh, way to get my hopes up. Jerk. Icy Wind, okay. That would actually be a pretty interesting move for doubles, because it will lower the speed of both of the opponents. Okay, well, anyways, the reason I have Bakugo back in the party is just because Bakugo resists ice-type attacks. But, yeah, at this point, it's just a ball-throwing montage. Or, not montage, I don't think I'm going to show a montage. I'm just going to cut to when something interesting happens. Also, I like Regice's cry a lot. Oh, again? Getting my hopes up. You overgrown popsicle. Nice! First attempt, too. So, I have, what, 28 Ultra Balls left? I think that's gonna be enough. Anyways, Regice here. The Iceberg Pokemon. Get it? Because this is the Iceberg Ruins. The ruins are named after, like, the category that this Pokemon is. Anyways, its body is made of ice from the Ice Age. It controls frigid air of negative 328 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, then. Well, that's another Pokemon down. And there's one more destination for us to go to. So this last spot that I want to go to does require a bit of traveling around. You need to make it pretty much to the end of Iron Island. I'm just here at the other exit just because it's a recognizable spot. But right over here, near the second exit to Iron Island, is this cave that previously had a metal coat in it. But now, it's the Iron Ruins. Like before, if you didn't have the National Pokedex and you had the Fateful Encounter Regigigas, you would not be able to do what you could do in here. Also, of course, just investigating the statue. And yeah. All stuff we've heard before. So, of course, step on this. And now, we just need to investigate the statue. I did change around my party again. I just replaced Tropius So that's really it, but of course, gonna save, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be obvious what is gonna be in here, considering what we have captured earlier in this episode. But this is still pretty cool. I really like that this was included in Platinum, because, I don't know, just that little extra bit of content that makes Platinum worth getting over Diamond and Pearl. Of course, there's all the other stuff that this game has over Diamond and Pearl as well, but anyways, let's encounter this thing. We have the legendary Pokemon Registeel. Registeel is another really good Pokemon. It focuses on defense just like its counterparts Regirock and Regice, but where Regirock was specializing in defense and Regice was specializing in special defense, this has more rounded defenses. It doesn't excel in either, but they're still fairly high. Now, being a steel type, this also does have a lot of resistances, plus that immunity to poison, which isn't really useful in this generation, I guess. But it's still a pretty neat Pokemon. Got a flinch there too, which is pretty nice. And of course, it does have access to Clear Body, has Iron Head. I will say, offensively, it could be better. This is just in the generation where steel types aren't that useful, unfortunately. So it's missing out a bit. But if you need something that can take hits really well, this Pokemon does a fantastic job in that. The only thing is, just like its other counterparts, it doesn't have a useful form of recovery outside of rest, so yeah. Now, one notable thing about... Really? Come on, Exia. You did not need to eliminate that target. Okay, let's try this again. Anyways, one notable thing about Registeel is, between the transition from Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, Registeel did have a sprite change. I mean, it was changed in European versions of Diamond and Pearl, but it's completely understandable why. And that change went forward with Platinum onwards. But, yeah, it was not the best sprite for Registeel. Anyways, I guess Ice Punch is too much for Registeel. Maybe it was because it got a defense drop from Superpower. I wasn't really paying attention to that, but maybe Body Slam will do less. Oh, don't use Superpower now. Actually, I could just use Ice Beam. Yeah, that seems to be a good idea. Will that work? Hopefully? Yes, good. Good. Optimal catching conditions. Now, I will say, out of Regirock, Regice, Registeel, I think Registeel is my favorite. That might have to do with the fact that the Steel type is my favorite type. And also, it just looks really cool. Huh. Really? That compliment wasn't enough? Okay, then. I don't know how else to butter you up, Registeel, to get in the ball, but it's true, I do like Registeel a lot. Now, you are using Superpower quite a bit. At least you don't have Explosion at this point. That would have been annoying. And I only have a limited number of Ultra Balls here, because well, I came in with 27. That's not really a lot, but hopefully it's enough. Ideally, I would like to have more, but oh well. Hopefully I don't run out here. But I guess at this point, it's just gonna be waiting for something to happen. So I guess I'll just jump ahead to whenever something interesting happens with Registeel here. Well, I caught it. Yay. I'm almost out of Ultra Balls, though, which is a little bit worrying. Anyways, Reggie Steel, the iron Pokemon, tempered by pressure underground over tens of thousands of years, its body cannot be scratched. There's a Pokedex entry in one of the other games that mentions that Reggie Steel's body is completely hollow, which is pretty interesting. Anyways, how many Ultra Balls do I got? 7. That's not good. Anyways, I'll worry about that later. Anyways, I guess now I'll just meet you at a Pokemon Center so we can take a look at the stats of these 3 Pokemon. Okay, so I am at a Pokemon Center now. Let me just get my team back in order, and let's take a look at these 3. So, Calm Nature, Timid, that's actually not that bad. I mean, it's not going to use its attack stat at the very least. And the Neutral Nature, fitting because its defenses are pretty much the same, at least on average. Anyways, I'm just move you over to this box and do some rearranging here. You go there. You go there, just because I like having them rearranged in their own way. Anyways, with that done, we captured Regirock, Regice, and Registeel, usually known as the Reggies, the Legendary Titans, things like that. But next episode, we're gonna do more with those 3. Anyways, I'm gonna end it off here. Thank you all so much for watching, and see y'all next time for some more Pokemon Platinum. Later!